I made over $230,000 selling on Amazon in only 6 months. The first step on starting my Amazon FBA business is I paid Jungle Scout over $2,000 for the brand owners and CI tool to find my product. The next step is I paid over $2,000 to Share a Studio to optimize my listing. I also had to pay over $1,500 for a legal team to set up my S Corp. The next step is setting up a seller account. That cost me around $39.99. And then through my business connections, I was lucky enough to find a manufacturer that can send me free samples. Once I received the samples, I approved them, and after that, I sent over $8,600 to manufacture my product, and shipping was included. Plus, there were other fees. So I had to spend a little bit over $14,000 to start my Amazon FBA business. And in just 6 months after that, I made over $238,000 selling on Amazon. And in this video, I'm gonna show you step by step on how I started my Amazon FBA business, as well exactly what my product is. At the end of this video, I'm also gonna share the top 3 mistakes I made that cost me over $400,000. Yes, $400,000. So you don't make the same mistake. All right, pay attention and let's get started. My name is Rafael. And my story actually begins in law school. Thing is that I started doing music videos because I completely disliked law. So I quit law school, I transitioned to making music videos, commercials, and also marketing. After that, I realized that I was kind of good at it, so I went to film school to perfect my craft. Around the year 2017, I was working at Nickelodeon, and then my boss, the executive producer's best friend, Radu, came into the studio one day, and he was selling on Amazon. He actually needed help because he wasn't doing very well. He hired me to do it, and that's why I fell in love with Amazon. 1, I was being more creative than ever, and 2, I saw how much money you can make. And let's be honest, it's not about the money, but it's about the money. And I saw how people were buying more and more products off of Amazon, so I saw that as a business opportunity. And that's when I met my business partner, and we started a candy business. The first step I took when I started my Amazon FBA business was spend over $2,000 for a research tool. I used Jungle Scout. So Jungle Scout helps you find your product, manage your inventory, and manage your sales. You don't need to spend this much money. There is a discount code below where you can get it, but if not, Travis also made another video where you can find alternative ways to source your product. Just check down below. The next step is to design and logo of the packaging. I spent around $2,000. This is something really important that I learned from watching Travis's videos. That's why I agreed to come on this channel and tell my story. The design and logo were partially created by Share a Studio, and the rest were delivered by the manufacturer. This process with corrections and everything took about 2 weeks to a month. Third step was setting up my S Corp. It cost me around $600. Plus, I had to hire a legal team, and it ended up costing around $1,500. I want it to be made as best as possible. You can do it for a lot cheaper with LegalZoom. But what the S Corp allows you to do is you pass the income and you protect your personal assets from your business assets. Plus the corporate veil is going to protect you even more. For the first production runs, we ordered over 600 units. This cost us $8,640. We found the manufacturer because my business partner has been in the candy space for years, so it was easier for us to get a good manufacturer. However, not everybody has the same connections, so if you're looking for a manufacturer and you don't know where to start, try using Google. Just put the name of the product plus manufacturer. If not, you got ThomasNet or you even got Alibaba.com. At this point, I was very nervous. I was actually scared, and it's okay to be scared. I already spent so much money, what I consider a lot of money. But I saw Travis's videos, and he stated that 50% of e-commerce sales in the United States happen on Amazon. So that gave me the confidence that I knew that at some point, this business was gonna be successful. The next step was shipping. It was free for me, thankfully, because my manufacturer is in the US and we had a great deal. But if you're buying products from overseas, you can ship it by air, which is faster, a little bit more expensive, or by sea, which is gonna take longer, but it's gonna technically be cheaper. $500. That's how my initial bundle of photos cost me. At first, the manufacturer sent me some photos. It got me started, but it wasn't good enough at all, honestly. So I paid Spirit Creative Studios to optimize my listing, get a little bit better, but it wasn't good enough. So I hired Share a Studio to fully optimize my whole listing, and that's when things really got interesting. $0. That's how much I spent on UPC codes. I got a great deal for the manufacturer, so it was great. But if you need to get UPC codes, you can get on gs1.org for around $30. $39.99. That's how much the Amazon Seller Central account cost me. You need this to be able to sell. Here you can track and get reports on spending, sales, inventory, reports, etc. Trademark. Honestly, we didn't spend anything on trademark. The manufacturer already had a licensing agreement and he had all the trademarks needed. So it was actually free. But if you want to get your trademark, just go to uspto.gov and apply there. All right, I'm ready to launch. I'm gonna share with you in just 1 minute how much money I made the first month. But so far, we spent over $14,000 to start this business. I know it's a lot of money, at least for me it was, and I was really scared, I'll be honest with you. But after watching all of Travis's videos, I knew that over 40% of third-party sellers would make at least $100,000 the first year. And I knew I had to take a huge leap of faith, but it was worth it. That's why I'm sitting here today telling you this story. In month one, I made over $10,000 in revenue, but remember, revenue is not profit, unfortunately. I spent over $5,000 producing the units sold in this month. The next cost was over $1,500 in Amazon fees. So Amazon charges you 15% every time you sell a unit. I know it sounds like a lot of money and it sounds like a very high fee, but remember, Amazon's the one that's bringing you the client. So that's actually a marketing cost. The next fee was $991. That's the Amazon pick and pack fee. Basically, Amazon's gonna charge you a fee every time they have to pack the product and send it to the customer. So honestly, that's a no-brainer. If you don't have to do anything, Amazon does everything for you. And honestly, this is what makes Amazon such a great opportunity, because you don't have to have a warehouse. Amazon's doing everything for you. So why not pay this fee? But if you do not want to pay this fee and you want to do it yourself, that's where FBA comes in place. So that's fulfilled by merchant, meaning that you pick and pack and you send it to a customer and Amazon doesn't have to do anything. However, if you do decide to go with FBM instead of FBA, it's gonna end up costing around the same fee, but now you have more headaches in place instead of Amazon doing everything for you. After all those fees, you have to pay a little bit more. We had to pay over $7,000 on PPC, that's pay per click, meaning that every time somebody searches for your product, it's gonna appear on the top of the search results. But when they click on it, you have to pay a little bit of money to Amazon. So after adding all those fees plus the PPC, I actually ended up losing over $4,000 the first month. And I personally like to always win. But think of this as a little step forward. You are starting a business after all. I felt scared, I felt lonely, I felt actually vulnerable. But I did watch a lot of Travis's videos, so I knew this was normal. I made a huge mistake with the foundation of the candy business. It cost me over $50,000. Stay tuned so I can teach you how you don't make this mistake. Second month, we saw improvements almost immediately. Revenue was over $12,000. That's $2,000 more than last month. The cost of the unit sold for month two was a little bit over $6,000. Amazon fees were a little bit over $2,000. My Amazon FBA selling fee was a little bit over $1,000, and PPC was a little bit over $7,000. PPC is worth it. But after all the expenses, we lost over $5,000 in month two. Good thing is we learned two things: how PPC can affect profits, and two, depending on the seasonality of the product, you can actually capture more customers. For example, I'm the candy business, so for Halloween, starting school, or depending on the seasonality, you can actually capture more and more customers. And you know how I said that Amazon PPC is very important? It is. It drives traffic to your listing. Travis has an amazing tips and tricks on how to harness the PPC in his course, and the link is down below. The second big thing we did was actually optimizing our listing images, A+ content, and video with Spirit Creative. This led us to a great month 3 with increasing conversion rates. Month 3, we did over $21,000 in revenue, but the cost reduction was a little bit over $11,000. And the Amazon selling fees were a little bit over $3,000, and the FBA fees were a little bit over $2,000. PPC again was over $7,000, which actually left us with a negative balance of $3,000. We made over $21,000 this month. That's double than last month. So guess what? We're getting closer and closer to making profit. After watching a lot of Travis's videos, I knew this was gonna be a long-term thing. This is a marathon, it's not a sprint, unfortunately. But I could finally see tides turning little by little. The biggest thing is we optimized our image with Spirit Creative, but that really helped conversions big time. The biggest changes we saw in the 4th and the 5th month. All right, these are the first green months. So the first thing we did is we got help with PPC. We got help from Jungle Click PPC. It got a return on ad spend, meaning how much money we were investing and how much money we were getting back, from a 1.5 to a 5, depending on the week. This month, we made over $49,000 in revenue. Remember, revenue is not profit, but this month we made over $2,500 in profit, which is great. First time we're in the green. And remember, it's all about trusting the process. And it's not magic. We actually got to collect more data from customers, so we have a better understanding of what we needed to do. We had a plan. And remember, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. But the biggest month so far was the 5th month. We made over $66,000 in revenue. But guess what? We made over $6,000 in profit. That's amazing. All right, let's move on to the next month. The 6th month was the best one so far. We made over $77,000 in revenue. And guess what? Over $8,000 in profit. Business is booming, but it wasn't always like that. So we actually had to re-optimize our images and content even more. That's where Share Studio comes into play. With Share Studio, we optimize the images, the photos, into more organic way so the customer connects better. And with the help of JungleClick and also Share Studio, it made us get a conversion rate up to 9%. And the return on ad spend went from around 4 to 5% steadily. That's great. For every dollar you invest in, you're getting $5 back. That's the business you want to be in. None of this was luck. We followed Travis's advice. We had patience. We took some data-driven actions, and you can see how the conversion rate, the return on ad spend, and everything came together and made us more money, and we were actually profitable. So in our first 6 months, we made over $238,000 in revenue. Remember though, revenue is not profit, unfortunately. After taking all the expenses, fees, production costs, cost of PPC, etc., we were left over with $4,000 in profit. That's amazing. That's within the first 6 months. So you see it? Talk about so much revenue and so little profit. But remember, this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. It's just gonna keep getting better. But listen, I could have earned so much more if I would have avoided these 3 mistakes. So listen up carefully so you don't make them. Mistake number 1, content. People, when they go on Amazon, they buy what they see. Yes, reviews and all these other things, but a lot of it is how you perceive value of the product. So not investing into good content from the get-go actually decreased my conversion rates, my return on ad spend, my PPC click-through rate, and all the positive things I could have gotten out of from it. So the first thing I would have done is getting better content that transmits and tells the story to the potential buyer. Mistake number 2 cost me over $50,000. It was because I was using FBM instead of FBA. Why? Well, we ran out of inventory, we had to ship things faster, we got bad reviews, it took more time, more headache. Yes, FBA fees are a little bit higher, but it frees up your space, your time. You could do way, way more. The moment we switched to FBA, our sales went up, our ranking got better, and we freed up more time. Now we can invest more time on top of managing the business instead of working within the business. And the third one, the one that cost me the most amount of money, was not starting sooner. Why did it cost me $400,000? Well, it's because it would have gave us a head start against the competition. We would have gotten experience sooner. We would have been able to understand the game sooner. We would have made way more money sooner. But you know what? I was too afraid to start sooner. And it's okay. But if you haven't started yet, I would highly encourage you to take the first step now. It's better to do it today than tomorrow. I'll be honest with you. I've been in the Amazon business with Share Studio for quite a while now, and also selling on Amazon for a few years. And the best thing I could have done is build my passive income business. I would suggest you do the same. If you don't know how to sell on Amazon, Travis made an amazing course which I took, which is the Passion Product Formula. If you're not ready to pull the trigger on that yet, I would definitely recommend you at least watch this 8-hour course completely for free, made by Travis. You're not getting any younger, I'll be honest with you. So start now. If you didn't start yesterday, start today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Life is gonna pass by. You deserve that passive income. Believe me, you do.